right over, and the negative 3 goes into the second column. We're looking for two numbers that when we multiply them we get negative 18, and when we add them we get negative 3. And so it looks like it's probably going to be negative 6 and 3. Negative 6 plus 3 gives us negative 3, and negative 6 times 3 gives us negative 18. Remember, we're working with negative 18. We're going to go ahead and put those in. Now, if I were asking you to simply factor, you'd be done. But we're actually trying to solve for the point. So we're going to go ahead and set these equal. So this is going to be x minus 6 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. So we're going to have x is equal to 6, and x is equal to negative 3. So we're looking for points, which means ordered pairs. So it's going to be 6, 0, and negative 3, 0. Alright, in looking at my final exam review, I noticed that the sign in this problem is actually different. So go ahead and mark this as 29A, because the problem that you actually had a plus 3x. So let's see how that changes it. If it's x squared plus 3x minus 18, then our factor sum chart just changes by the sign. So it's negative 18, and it's going to be positive 3. So now it's going to be a positive 6x and a negative 3. Positive 6x, negative 3, which means it's going to be x plus 6, and it's going to be x minus 3, which gives us different signs. So it's going to be negative 6, 0, and positive 3, 0. So just having one change in the sign gives you different ordered pairs. Alright, this is a review on the box. So on question 38, it's asking you to multiply. So just a reminder, you're going to box it. We're going to put the 7x, negative 4, 5x, negative 1, 35x squared, and negative 20x, negative 7x, and positive 4. So 35x squared minus 20x minus 7x plus 4 is going to give you 35x squared minus 27x plus 4. The thing here that we need to remember before we start doing any kind of rainbowing is to do add a line, change the sign, so that we've got our sign. So add a line, change the sign here. Now because you have the 3 here, when you add a line and change the sign, it's only going to change the sign on the negative 3. If there were 1 here, you would change the sign on everything inside. And this is going to be add a line and change the sign. Alright, so now let's start doing our rainbow. So we're going to have 8x squared minus 4x plus negative 18x squared plus negative 12 plus 2x squared plus negative 2x. I'm going to go ahead and look at my x squared. So I have negative 16x squared. That takes care, oops, I've got one more over here. So let's look at actually negative 8. Alright, so we're going to have negative 20x squared plus 8x squared, and then we're going to have a negative 4x, and 2x, so that's going to be negative 6x, and then we have a negative 12 here. So this is going to be negative 12x squared minus 6x minus 12. Okay, I just found a sign error, so let's adjust our answer. This is a positive 2x squared, and this is a positive 8x squared, which is a positive 10x squared. So this should be, oops, sorry about that. This should be negative 18x squared and 10x squared. So that's going to update this number to be a negative 8x squared. So that would be our simplification. Alright, for bounce. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply 8 times 35. And that's going to give us 280. So we're going to bounce it. So this is going to give us negative 280. And we're going for negative 6. All right, if we divide 280 by 20, we're going to get 14. We need a negative 6, so that's going to make the 20 negative. So negative 20 plus 14 is going to give us negative 6. So we're ready to bounce. We're going to take our best player, and he's going to be in charge of the first set of parentheses. And we're going to take our second best player, and he's going to be in charge of the second set of parentheses. Now each of our players over on the side, we're going to put them into the parentheses that we think they're going to have the most in common with. So I'm going to go ahead and put the negative 20, and I'm going to put an X ball in his hand, and I'm going to put the positive 14 and an X ball in his hand. Before I go any further, I want to make sure that these two numbers equal the negative 6x, which they do, so I'm in good shape so far. Now, these two have a 4x in common, so we're going to go ahead and take out the 4x, and that's going to leave us with 2x minus 5. Oh, get that x in there. All right, and then we are going to have a 7 in common here, so positive 7, and that's going to leave us with 2x minus 5. So we're going to have the 2x minus 5 in common and the 4x plus 7 left over. And so that gives us our answer for factoring. So of course we're factoring, so we can stop there. If we were going to solve it, then we would take each of those sets of parentheses and set them equal to 0. This one's solved for x, so is the x on the left? It's not. We're going to do symmetrical. 2x minus 10 is equal to y. We're going to go ahead and 0 out the 10. So we have 2x is equal to y plus 10. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Make sure you divide everything by 2. So x is going to be 1/2 y plus 5. This one we're solving for y. So I'm going to look to see if I have the largest y term on the left. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and do symmetrical. 10y plus 10 is equal to 3 minus 4y. I'm going to get all of the y's on the left by 0 pairing out that 4y. That's going to give me 14y plus 10 is equal to 3. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and 0 pair out the 10. So that's going to give me 14y is equal to negative 7. Divide by 14, divide by 14. Y is equal to negative 1/2. Chocolate candy bars cost $2, and chocolate Dove almonds cost $4. And we're looking for an equation that's going to help us determine the greatest number of each that we can purchase. So we have $2 for the chocolate candy bars, and we have $4 for the Dove almond chocolates. Now notice that because it's two different kinds of chocolates, we're going to have two different variables. We have $15 to spend, so it can equal $15, but it also could be less than. Of course, it can't be greater than because we don't have enough money. So we're going to go ahead and do our XY chart and just take a look at some possible values. If I buy one chocolate candy bar, that means I'm going to be able to buy 3 of the Dove almonds. So I'm going to have 12 plus 2 is going to give me $14. So that definitely works. If I buy 2 of the chocolate candy bars, that's going to mean that I can probably only purchase 2 of the Dove almonds. So let's check that out. So that would be 2 times 2 plus 4 times 2. That's going to be 8 plus 4 is 12. So that definitely works. It's less than the $15 that we have. If I purchase 3, that's going to be $6. So I can also purchase 2, and that's going to be 6 plus 8 is 14, so we have 3 and 2 and 14. Alright, so let's see if we buy 4 chocolate candy bars, I can buy 1 Dove almond, that's going to give me $12. If I buy 5 chocolate candy bars, I can buy 1 Dove almond, that's going to give me $14. And if I buy 6 chocolate candy bars, I can buy no Dove almonds, and that's going to give me $12. So the only thing that I need to check here is to see if I can buy 4 of the chocolate almonds, which I can't, which would be 16. So these are all of my possible answers. So the highest number of chocolate candy bars that I can buy is 6, and the highest number of Dove almonds that I can buy is 3. Alright, let's go ahead and solve the inequality. We're going to zero pair out the 1. So this is going to be negative 7t is greater than or equal to 84. We're going to go ahead and divide by 7. Actually, divide by negative 7. So t is going to be negative 12. But remember, you've got your minus men here, so your inequality is going to flip. And that's the end of the review.